Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. And tonight is Lord Ayel and Gaylene, and we are here to bring you some really exciting and fascinating gifts. I'm going to say they're gifts tonight, and they're truly awesome. Those of you that are here, you are here because you were guided here. You were led here either by your soul or by your mind because you're looking to change something with your health or mentally or physically or financially or some part of your life you are looking for some change. And you might even feel that there's just certain aspects of you yourself, your feelings, um, you might be going through and you're just tired of having it. Maybe you're dealing with a lot of anger and you're not sure why, or you have a lot of fear. And these are two biggies that a lot of people struggle with, and most of the time they don't even want it, but it's there and they don't know what to do with it or how to control it or how to use it in a positive manner, because those two things can be used in a positive manner. They don't necessarily have to be good. So this is where Gaylene is going to step in tonight, and she's just going to, I'm going to say, sprinkle a little dust, a little angel dust, and then a lot more. But she's really, really a delight. And ever since she's come into my life and met me, she has been like, you get this lucky charm or a four-leaf clover or you butterfly or something that you call that is very, very precious, and you know that is there when you need it. Okay, well, Gaylene will be, will give you with that, and you won't have to always call on somebody, but you'll have it within yourself, which is already there. But what Gaylene does is help you to bring it forward, and you know it's there, and you know that you have the power to live the life that you choose to live, the life that you dream of living. You don't have to keep dreaming it, it's there. So just let me briefly enlighten you a little bit about Gaylene, and then she's going to come in and talk to you more. But I just want to let you know that she is a Hado water instructor, optimal life practitioner, avatar wizard, a Yuen method mastery practitioner, Reiki master, hypnotherapist, Theta teacher slash practitioner, crystal healer, an NLP master practitioner, and an Aboriginal dream time healer. Now, these are just a few of the things that she has modestly, you know, shared with me. And there are tons of other things that she does also. And later on during the program, as we continue sharing with you, she's going to do some exercises with you and some transmissions. And she's also going to, share with you some of the um, programs that she has created just for you and for any of us that would like to really, really learn more. And also know that I know I should stop talking and let Gaylene step in, but I just want to say this part here, that I know many of us, especially in the United States, now this is global. So if you live in a country where you're on this fast track like the United States, it's like, when did you want it? You wanted it yesterday. Gaylene comes into that where her method of healing and helping you is not long and drawn out. It doesn't take hours or days. It takes minutes and sometimes seconds, and you'll be amazed and wonder, whoa, what just happened? So you're going to get to experience it. It's really, really awesome. And as you can see, I'm very, very fond of her. I really like her, and she's all the way in Australia. I'm here in the United States, but our energies have connected so profoundly that we can just communicate that way, and we do. So, with that, I'm going to step aside. And Gaylene, thanks so much for being here tonight with all of us around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, L'Oreal. That's such a kind introduction, and it's such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. But yeah, being in America, so many countries have looked to America for so long, so the pressure's really been on. And with everything that's going on in life, and we're actually blaming externals for creating it. As we go along with the work I do, you'll find that that actually isn't so. It's internal states resonating with us that are amplified outside us, creating all that havoc. And the good thing is that gives you the power to alter your life, even if it's only within your own reality, and that's a catalyst for other people. So all the pain going around the world, a little bit of it belongs to all of us. As soon as we have a reaction or response to it, that's the trigger for us to release it. It's life letting us know we're stuck in something that's not working, but because we haven't known we've stuck, we've just got more stuck and look to blame it. So anytime we feel upset, instead of going within and think, I have an upset state that's not working, let me delete it, we look to blame or find an external to tag it on. And sometimes that's accurate. The external may have created it or appeared to, because we didn't have the resource of how to cope, but that's not going to help us at all. The more we get stuck in thinking it's things outside us, the less we become powerful. The truth is that we all create from within ourselves. The thing that challenged us was everybody told us we're a product of the world, and that there's different people have different values. People are worth different things, that's the biggest untruth we ever were indoctrinated with, that someone has more or less. That's a complete untruth. As human beings, we all create by making a decision. Based on that decision, we create a picture, attach feelings, which produce behaviors and outcomes. Nobody else has more or less than that. There's nobody above or below you. Anything else is completely untruthful. But we've bought in it for so long, and we've put people in positions above us as well as below us. And so we've been buying into that game of lying or a lie for so long that it's a challenge to step out of it. But as soon as you entertain the possibilities that the power comes within me, and I have got the same abilities as everyone else, no one has more or less than me, then we can start to do the changes. The primary topic of today was stress. Well, stress happens when we feel we don't have control of our circumstances. As soon as we feel the control is outside us, we become stressed. So at that point, stress is an amazing, helpful alarm bell to say, hey, you're just off track, let's look within. But because we've only used it to feel off track, and instead of looking within, we've just suppressed it and kept going on because we haven't understood exactly the awareness it was to let us know that we're off track. So we suppress that, and as we suppress that, we go more and more off track and more off track, until we've got so much off track that we don't know where to begin. But that's the easy part. You don't really have to know where to begin. You just decide to choose peace in your life. It's a decision. We make a decision to be peaceful and empowered. We're not taking any power away. Decision and empowered. And from that decision, we create a picture. Peacefulness, harmony, empowerment, joy. It's a great picture to make. So you can have that immediately. There's nothing you have to, there's no time limit between that. You can have that immediately. So by deciding, yeah.
You know, Gaylene, I'm listening to you, and it can resonate with me because I've been through a lot, and I'm where you're talking about right now, but I know, and I can hear people saying, I can't do that. It's not that easy. And we understand. I want everybody listening and watching to know that we understand it's not easy. You know, we've been through things also. And I also heard people saying, I didn't grow up in that environment to just, change my life. I wasn't in control of my life. So a lot of you are still not realizing how worthy you are, how important you are, but you're still living in that victimness. And granted, we can, go slower. and take your hand by hand. You don't have to be thrown into the lion's den. You won't be thrown into the lion's den. And this is another reason why I'm doing this live. You know, I used to do it on Blog Talk Radio for over 6 years, and nobody got to see you, so everybody could hide, and you just heard the voice. And when you see a person and you look in their eyes, that's why I keep taking my eyeglasses off, so that you can look in my eyes and see that I'm speaking to you from my heart. I'm speaking to you with honesty and truth. And so is Gaylene. She tells the gospel truth. We're not here to give you some more beliefs that are not going to help you. And one of the things I think would be good if we were able to even work with you to help let go of these old beliefs that you've been fed since the day you were born. All of us, every single one of us, were born equal. Every single one of us, we are divine spiritual beings. That's what we are. Now, I know there are many of us, you weren't, raised that way, and you've had hard times somewhere in your life. It could have been during childhood or adolescence or as a teenager, or maybe you got into a relationship that really just broke you apart. So there's many, many different types of experiences you go through, which you end up developing anger and fear and mistrust, and feeling that you're just not going to live the dream that you thought at one time you would. And so you still call it a dream, but it's more than a dream. It's your life. It is your life. So I just want you to understand that we're not saying it's easy, and it's not going to happen overnight. I always tell people, wherever you are right now, you did not get there overnight. It took 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, even 60, 70, 80 years. It took a long time. So in order to get to where you want to get to, it won't take that long. But you will have to put in the effort. You will have to say, okay, I'm ready to let go of these old beliefs and really be me and find my true self. And this is where, Gaylene steps in, and she does her work, and she helps you to find yourself, and she helps you to get unstuck and move forward and remove those blocks or climb over those mountains. You can do it. I've did it. I've done it. I'm sorry. I've done it. So I know that you can do it. If you don't trust anyone else, trust me. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. I decided to create my own rules because nobody else's. Fortunately, the ones I grew up with were so insufficient. I decided to sift through everything, shift through everything, and decided what really mattered was empowering. If someone needs to dominate you, oh, they're not that powerful. If anyone needs to dominate anyone, well, they're just bluffing. So I shifted through everything, the things we were told, the things we weren't told, and I ran them through my system to see if they made us disempowered or empowered. Most made us disempowered. So everything I say, everything anyone else says, it's really intelligent, and you're right for yourself to sift through your own system to see how it makes you feel.
Right.
No one precedes your information for you. Your intuition always, and what you feel always outweighs what anybody else says. I trust more what I get with my intuition than the physical world tells me. And everyone else knows that that's how it's meant to be. You're the one who you look within you. What you feel yourself always outweighs anything else, and so it should. The little discrepancy, I believe you can get to that state immediately, and then when you know that state, and it's not so much find yourself, it's a great reason for a holiday if you want to go off and find yourself and have a trip, but really it's decide who you choose to be, right? Yeah, I know, a good holiday, I mean, what a great reason, but it's not that. So decide who you choose to be and who you feel to be with your feet on the ground. I'm going to give you the thumbs up. I'm just going to give you a few hints on who you may be, just so you can put your own expression on it. But we're all knowing, all powerful, all loving, the most powerful, intelligent, beautiful beings in the universe. So never think anyone is above you, because you're it. You're the one who creates your own film. And at the moment, the film you're creating, now everyone listen, It's not dependent on anything else but your decisions, your pictures, your thoughts. And yes, people have had influences. I can guarantee that. But the only issue really came is because we had misinformation or had no information. We had completely distorted information. So we've taken on, one, we were born forgetting who we were, and based on not knowing that, we've made reactions and responses that create lower level of poverty realities for ourselves. So the control always will remain with you. It's in your hands. I'm not saying getting over some of those old patterns are easy, but that's where I come in, because I can make it really easy, because as soon as you understand where your flaw has been, I'm going to start with the major flaw we do. When we feel responsible to make someone else happy, when we feel, whether it's by being fearful of them, whether we feel we're obligated to them, whether we feel guilty to them. Now, they're the things that make our heart energy create their reality. So we have this energy in our heart, which is about creating our reality that we can enjoy. But when we feel responsible to do what other people want, to give to other people, to pacify other people, to keep other people happy, suddenly this energy where we're meant to be creating our own life film goes into creating their film. So by the time we get back to creating our life, there's no energy left. And let alone that, on the flip side, we are so angry and furious that we really want to kill someone. We think it's about the people we've given our energy to, and it does appear like that. But if we go back and back, we're so angry and furious at ourselves for doing it. So a lot of my work, I ask you to bring up your hate of others and your hate of yourself, because basically they're all linked in and confused and mixed up. And the quicker we do that, because it's bad enough we give our energy away, but then we get hateful. So our frequency drops and drops and drops and drops to create the lowest level of reality that we can imagine, and war begins, because we're all doing it. It's not just one, we're all doing it in some way. So coming back to that, deciding to have peace and harmony and empowerment in your life is a simple decision. Starting to look within and realizing it's going to come from you. If you don't want to listen, then you've got resistance, and that's fine. So let's just collapse and delete that resistance that's in your way to start with. We do have our own expression of ourselves, and when we're resonating with our own expression, everything seems to fall into place. It's just deciding to start. It's realizing that the information is decisions, pictures, feelings. What decision would you like to make? What picture would you like to create? And what feelings would you attach to that picture? Now, what gives you the key to creating it? Your wants will tell you what you want in life. Or want is really important because it lets you know what you want to create. People get stuck in their wants. Their wants are a guideline to get you to what you want, to make the decision, to create the picture, attach the feelings. Then want it so much, you release it. But most people are stuck in want. They don't know it's only a process. So I'd recommend to start with, make a decision to have more peace, harmony in your life, because that means I value myself. So even that is such a huge, expansive start. Feel how it would feel to value yourself. Feel that if you valued yourself, or when you value yourself, all of a sudden, everything seems to disappear. All the stress seems to disappear. All of a sudden, I value myself. There's no push or pull. You're coming from center. That's like you're your own manager at that point. Anything that pulls you away from valuing yourself is actually less than valuing yourself, and it's what we don't want. That's what we've bought into for all our life. It's not mystical. It's not supernatural. It's a science. It's step by step. It's not wishful thinking. When you manifest that feeling and that decision on the energy plane, it's actually real at that point. And the more attention you give to it, the more solid it comes down. So we want to bring this talk into reality. I mean, it's fine to talk about it, but we want to practice it. So say we're going to aim for peace. At the moment, we're going to aim for peace. So deciding I decide to experience peace at this point. Then a peaceful picture to you, it could be anything. It could just be calm looking at the blue sky, or it could be looking at the ocean. It could be looking at trees and flowers. So feel that. Feel what peace does for you. Feel how it just lets everything release. And it doesn't make you sleep. You're still aware, so you don't become slack or go into that state. You're aware, but you're peaceful and aware. Now that's the key. That state is the key to have more of it. So the more you practice that state, what's going to happen? You're going to be aware of states you lived in and got used to living in. And now the difference is you're going to have a comparison. So those states are going to become so uncomfortable, you're going to want to delete them. But it's not because you've gone backwards, you've just created a new state that your old way of living becomes uncomfortable. So what I want to do to just aid that, have I got time, Laudie, to do a transmission now? Is that okay with
Yeah,
you?
because I was going to ask you if you could do one for hate, and then because that would also, raise up the frequency.
It
But
also,
whatever
hate,
you want to
yeah, no, we can go to that. What happens is we get hurt, then you cannot help it. If someone's mistreated you and you felt mistreated, you felt hurt, the natural byproduct is hate, revenge, whatever. It's a residue. You cannot actually not experience something like that at that point.
do.
Unless that one of you are that advanced, you wouldn't buy into it to start with. So we're going to go to be that advanced. So when you have something bad done to you or uncomfortable, you will get hateful. And then society says hate isn't accepted. That makes you the bad person. So we get a double whammy. Not only are we mistreated, then we get hateful and we're suddenly the bad person and we've got another layer to hide. So what I'm going to ask you to bring up first, and while we're in hate, we can't heal. So we're in a double bind as well. And it's not our fault, and it's not that we're doing anything wrong. It just happens we have a sort of insane society thing happening. And, it's just been so hard for us. We've actually had no way out of these feelings. So nobody has done anything wrong at this point. And anyone on the planet at this point that you're still here has to be applauded, because it's crazy without knowing what's happening and without techniques to delete what's happened. So anybody here is completely successful to start with. Whether you do anything or don't do anything, at this point you actually don't need to do anything or not do anything. You're successful in just being here, because that's just a big ask of anyone here. And we know that. We look out at the craziness that we live in, the control that's happening, the violence, the trauma. It's all around us. It's in our families. It's pretty crazy. So it's not easy for anyone to start with, but it starts within us, in our space around us. So first, what I'm going to ask you we'll build up to hate. I'm going to ask everyone just to focus in on their disillusionment with the world, how this was we're meant to enjoy this experience and we're not enjoying it. So I want everyone to feel what a crazy, weird, horrible, betraying, disappointing experience life has been. Maybe not all the time, but a part of it. I'm not going to pretend it's been great. Maybe we've had moments, but a lot of it hasn't been. So all that time, people have misled you. You felt set up for falls. You felt someone was given and they ended up taking from you. You felt no one was ever there for you. You were abused and then no one's there to help you get out of it. And all the times you feel stuck. So as much as you can, I want you to all gather that up now. And I don't want you to rehash it. Just lightly put your attention on it. And if you're in really heavy states, that's okay. You can stay in those states. Don't even bother. They can be what we're doing. So just aim to release those. So I'm just going to start with some silent work. You will feel it. Okay, that was just short. That was just to give you a time just to feel peaceful, and a time to up to date you with a memory you already have of complete self-acceptance and peace. So it's self-acceptance and peace that go together, and I want that transmission to have just reawakened that self-acceptance you already have within you, and brought your essence of self more strongly in you, and taken program that dominated you out and put energy in you that allows you to feel the frequency of yourself more, because that frequency is individual to you and it's perfect by you. So it's learning that you're perfect with not being perfect, and not being perfect is perfect in itself. So it's a change of outlook, but the person that comes has to start doing that is you and your conscious awareness. What my transmissions does, it picks up the unconscious stuff that's already in our subconscious that we cannot possibly grab or be aware of because there's so much there. So it starts to undo and delete patterns, and it's like a full, usually only 4 to 6 minutes between that of constant deleting patterns. It's very calm, very easy. And it's a really peaceful way to delete patterns without rehashing them. And then we also come into, I do classes that teach everyday awareness, so you can just implement simple techniques that are just fun to use and to replace other ones with. So it's not that you have to learn anything other than deciding a different pattern and seeing a different picture.
Well, that was really great because you covered a lot. As you were doing it, my shoulders just totally relaxed because I love the water. So I went to the ocean, and I just felt not only peace, but just things washing off of me, because anger, fear, doubt, unworthiness, all these different things that people do experience. And also, they need to know that this is something that once you work with Gaylene, she gives you the tools so that you can always use it. And a lot of times people think, well, I had that done, and they think it doesn't have to, happen anymore. Sometimes it does. It's just like buying a pair of shoes. They wear out, and you get another pair of shoes. But with Gaylene, the tool is always there, so that when something happens to make you angry or fearful, you can use the tool to take away that anger and to restore, your inner beauty, your inner self, your inner soul. Gaylene has created a couple of programs just for the people that are listening, and we'll go over it. And what I want you to know is it's very, very easy. If you want to get it, just go to my website, which is lordiel.com, and that's LORD as in David, IEL.com. And then you look for services right at the top, and click on services, and you'll see Gaylene's banner. Click on her banner, and it will take you to her page, and you can look over everything that we're talking about right now. So even if you want to go there and do that right now, as we talk about it, feel free to do so, because there is an awful lot. And then after we go through the program, Gaylene, I'm sure you're going to want to do something else after we go through your offers.
It's very hard for me not to want to do something else. The best thing about it's the MP3s. This was developed particularly for people watching today, and they just take away so much stuff. But not only that, I have classes, and the classes are like individual sessions, and you can replay them as a resource. They're fun, they're enlightening, and I tell you, the flaw in our programming that gives you think that what moment? Yeah, I do that. That's not what's meant to be working. No, we're told to give and give and give. No, you give to yourself and receive at the same time. You never hand those reins for happiness to another being outside yourself. You never give that power away. It's like we're doing so many simple things based on misinformation, and they're meant to be making us a good person. They're leaving us in anger and frustration. unconditional love is a resource. It's not because you're saintly or a goody two-shoes. So it's a new slant on everything we've been given misinformation on. So it's not about any old way. It's about learning what you know wasn't right to start with, but you only went along with it because you were told to. So you quickly find that there's 4 techniques that I show to you that, and not only that, it's giving you the awareness of that misinformation. I keep it very simple, give every power back to you. And I quickly explain and easily allow you to understand where you've been misaligned. And on the calls, I do individual transmissions for people, but the whole class joins in. I do a 20-minute transition because it's in that quiet time I get more than you could imagine, because I work in pitches and breaking those pitches down. It's incredibly quick, but it's also supportive. The classes are great because they're like a session that can be replayed over and over and over again. I never want to leave people without a resource. That's why I teach you to do what I can do quickly for yourself and others. It's a very simplified form, but there's no way I'm going to leave you without resources. It's been done to us for too long, and a resource that is in a blink of an eye you can use, and it's successful straight away. So I don't leave out the right information and without a resource. That's not fair to do.
And you've made it extremely, extremely affordable.
Oh, yeah, that, of course.
Like going out to dinner. You can go out to dinner, you can buy, especially the first package. If you can go out to a nice dinner, you can afford the package. So can we, let's go over the 3 packages. The first one is Living and Loving Your Dreams. You get 5 MP3s dedicated to helping you live and love your dreams. And you want to go over the 5 MP3s that are in there?
I will. Now, I will tell you they're complete any transmissions, so they're silent. And they're silent because if there's no voice, there's no resistance. Female, male, no resistance. I have an accent, no resistance. But they're silent because in that time I'm silent. I'm doing so much work nonstop that they're very impacting. And you will actually sit and feel the stuff pull off you. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'm not asking you to replay it again. I'm asking you to stretch, get a drink of water, integrate, and then feel really that the feeling will kick in. It's just like a magnetizing effect that just pulls stuff out of you. And then you can go back to the other one. They're 4 or 5 minutes. They're not long. I'm going to also include some MP3s that you can loop in the background. These 5 basic ones, I don't want you to loop. Now, the one with Open Your Heart for Yourself, this is about how we give our energy away. So I'm looking to directly stop those programs and just create the programs of where you've been controlled by others, so-called in authority, or people you thought you had to look after. Well, we've all got a wand. It means you're waving your wand for someone else and they're getting a double shine, a double light. So it's bringing your power back so you can create your own happiness and reality, and also let go of the anger and frustration that's so driving you crazy from the times you've given your energy away. And because a part of us knows that someone's taken it, they're not going to do it back for us, no, but they'll run with us and probably push us over at the same time. And that's a pattern of frustration where our own energies start to destroy us on the inside. Mm-hmm. There's another one, open your dreams to yourself. We have dreams and we sort of know our dreams, but there's such a deep personal thing that we really don't want to share them. And I don't believe anything within us is anybody else's business anyway. So that's a good idea to not share until you feel to, if you choose to. But the dream within us is so important and it means so much to us. But we've covered it so far with fear because we think people will laugh at us if we ever thought we had that potential. Days are over. You have that potential. It's not other people's opinion that affects your life of you. It's only your opinion. Right. Anybody's opinion shows them where theirs at. It's nothing to do with you. If someone's putting you down, it shows, wow, this guy's coming from a crummy place. It's nothing to do with you, but we haven't gauged it on that initially. We reacted and we went into revenge as well as being hurt at the same time. So it's learning quickly strategies that work. But our dreams are so important. They're the things that are keeping us still here in this crazy place. We don't know it, but it's so important to us to live our dream and create it. But when our intuition doesn't ask us to spend a lot of money to set ourselves up where we feel really traumatized. The intuition does not work like that. It's a step at a time. It doesn't matter if you do, it doesn't matter if you don't. but it's a step at a time and there's no pain. And also when everyone says to you, life's short, life goes on forever. You'll manifest in a different reality next time. Life does not mean you cram it all into this. You have all the time in the world. And you live in your perfect time, nobody else's. So you do things in your time, nobody else's. So don't think you have to rush things through, because it's about enjoying the process. So take as long as you need to. No stress. If you feel to create, fine. If you don't, fine. It's perfect either way, because it's your decision. And it is important that you go along with yourself. Create and live your dreams with love. A lot of us are pretending that we're living our dreams with love, having the perfect house, the perfect car, or maybe not. But sometimes those items aren't so much because they're our dreams. It's to try and convince us that we're good enough or we fit in. Now, you can have those things, but whatever car you have, whatever house you have, it's got to be, or whatever living environments you have, even if you're renting, that's got to be perfect for you. It's perfect for where you are at this time. Nobody's film is more important than your film. Your film is the most important film in the world because it's your film. If you've got a dog, it's the best dog in the world. My dog's my best dog in the world. Your dog's got to be your best dog. Seriously. My car, even if I've got a bummy beat up car, that's my car. That's the best car in the world. And until I get to that, I'm putting myself down as a manifester. So how am I ever going to get to be confident when I'm so disappointed with what I've got? So start to appreciate what you have manifested, because those things really don't count. I mean, you know, the more you start to appreciate what you get, your vibration heightens and you naturally attract a different level of stuff in for where your frequency is at. But really, it's self-acceptance that allows you to value yourself, not an item. And you can have those items, but we don't want to make the item responsible for your happiness. You decide to be happy. It's a decision. Something's nooses around our neck, and we can pretend otherwise, but basically having huge repayments, they're an interesting experience in themselves, and they don't make us good or bad. It just sometimes means out of buying into what the physical world's been telling us has misled us and made our life challenging for us. It hasn't actually brought us more peace. And we also have inherited pretty crummy patterns down from the relatives. You know, they tend to give us those things. So a lot of us are mopping up their mess. Yes, so don't think everything you're dumped with in this life has actually come from you. It's been passed down, and for some reason this generation seems to be carrying it. So take a lot of that. Just smile at that. I mean, it's not funny when you're in the middle of it, but when you realize it's not all of yours, but you're dumped with it, well, if you're dumped with it, you are going to have those resources when you look within. And those relatives better come to the party, since they've chipped in to start with. Okay, now, healing you. I know, and I do have a sense of humor. Apparently wisdom and humor go together, so that's really wise. And laughter is important, because without laughter, what's the point? So we sort of need to laugh at ourselves at some point. Now, healing you, a lot of the time we have had a reaction so often that we believe that reaction is us. If we've had an angry reaction so often, we think we're an angry person. So healing you is about healing our external reactions where we sabotage our life, because being angry pushes people away, opportunities, it stops allowing us to enjoy, and we put defensive realities up, and it stresses the hell out of our body, let alone people around us, and brings more karma to us. The You Are Beautiful, and I do love that song, You Are Beautiful, but that would be, they're not my rights to use that. But this is to dissolve the inner destructiveness of when we can't express our anger, or we internalize it and build up in ourselves, or we internalize someone else's voice and build up in ourselves. So the healing you is out of destructive behavior. The You Are Beautiful is that self-criticism we have, and we quietly sit and endure and say nothing and pretend we're coping. Well, really we're in pain inside. So that's about dissolving that. I'm going to there, and there's going to be MP3s you can play in the background and loop. And these ones are not to be looped. They're too strong for that, or not to be played driving machinery. But I'm going to add ones into it that you can play in the background and will help dissipate things. And you can send that energy, intend that energy go to you when you're away, intend to go to other people. And what it does, as well as make subtle changes or deep changes and powerful changes, it takes off that abrasiveness of the physical world. it just makes light, takes that harsh edge off. So you come home and you will notice a difference. You notice the difference when you stop playing it. So you can put it on a USB or whatever. So if your computer crashes, you always have a copy. Or yell out and I'll resend it.
Now, you also said you can intend it to water, right?
You can, the Hado water practitioner, Dr. Emoto, who has, he was a guy who he has passed now, probably doing something amazing in another dimension. But what he did, he would put a word on water. The water would respond to that word. He would take a picture of frozen water crystals. Now, I was interested in it because we're like 80% water, at least 80% water. Mm-hmm. And it means if we think we're stupid or hateful or whatever, we're affecting the how that water in our body is responding. So water with hate on it became distorted. Water with gratitude, appreciation was a beautiful crystal, which is probably when we're sparkling and we're loving being who we are, that all of a sudden we change the whole quality of what we're feeling and where our body's resonating. He proved that words are real and create a real effect. Mm-hmm. So when we decide to appreciate ourselves, we're actually programming all the cells in our body with appreciation. When we decide to build up on ourselves, we're abusing ourselves, or when others are, they actually are programming our own cells with what they're saying, the molecules of water. So you can even have a glass of water and intend it be filled with gratitude or appreciation and drink it. And that intention is actually influencing those crystals on how to respond. Now, he did the work. It's actually proven. You can see the photos of the different crystals with the different words on it. And I'm interested in that because of what it programmed our body with. But that's just scientific proof of what I'm saying. It's not woo-woo. We can call it that because I do love that word magic. But in truth, words are real. Words have impact. And the word does, and the intention behind it. So it's start listening to what you're saying. If what you're saying is what you don't want to experience anymore, then decide to stop saying it because you're solidifying reality. So when you blame how bad life is, how poor you are, you're creating those realities. There's also another thing I teach in classes. It's a wealth magnet, which is a decision to be wealthy, but it completely creates a concept of wealth that feels so natural and beautiful. It takes out all greed, all dog eat dog, or have to sell your soul to make money, or climbing over people, or clenching your fist and holding on. We have had such a bad relationship with money. Money should be a healthy, natural part of our life. Wealth should feel beautiful to us. Instead of we think money, we think stressed, or we think not enough, we're not good enough, or we think we've got to beat the next person. That is where most of the world is at this point. Even The Secret, and with all of its great intentions, people got greedy and then put more pressure on themselves and got desperate to prove it. It didn't help. It had the potential to help, and it probably did help some do it, but it didn't delete the states.
Right.
That wealth should be, so wealth magnet, we decide to be wealthy, we create a wealth picture, we feel it, we feel the money coming down. The more attention we give to feeling it, the more real it becomes. And the more real it becomes, well, we've made it real on the energy level. We're present as we're seeing it, practically feeling it in our hands. It's not hopeful or wishful. It will manifest. It has to, because that's how we operate. So wishful hoping is out the door. We don't need it. It's a step-by-step 1 + 1 = 2. This is no different than that. So it's not hopeful, wishful. It's how we are programmed as humans to create, to decide, create a picture and feelings. It's not wishful or hoping. But while we got the money magnet going, then we can put focus on enjoying what we're doing without thinking everything's about trying to get people to like us or sell ourselves or be who we're not or have to be nice to the right person. When we work from center, we actually enjoy what we're doing. So it's simple stuff, because I believe true intelligence is simplified, or it's a waste of your time and my time because we're not going to use it.
So that's an awful lot, and that's like the first package. The second package goes into dynamic empowerment. Now, this is going to help you just release all your, majority of your blocks, especially if you're working with Gaylene. There's a lot in this package. Go ahead.
The classes that go with the living and loving your life, they're they're going to cover so much, and I do so much deleting of your own patterns already and changing. Then
Right.
so they're going to be they're really powerful. They're where we have the fun and the laughter
And
and
I've
the
taken them, so they are. They really are. 'Cause I've taken them, and they have blown me away. They really have. True.
yeah, people's results are amazing. Like, people have a web page where all their results are posted up, continually results are posted up. So I'm in awe of that, when everybody is just so happy to hand over their hate, and I love it because that's my area. I take your hate and I delete it really quickly, and then I give you steps where you can take your stuff, do it yourself just as quick. And that's really important to me, because without a resource, it's not fair what I'm doing. I can't. That's just not fair to me to not teach you a resource to create wealth easily, to delete your own stuff easily and other people's, and to explain why we value ourselves. And unconditional love is a strategy that you use because you value yourself, and it dissolves other people's issues, not because you actually care about the issues, but because you care about you so much you no longer need them in your face, upsetting your life. So I completely take a different slant on that side of things. There's no karma in that because it's completely neutral, but it's completely honest too. Unconditional love is a strategy because you value yourself, and it changes your life, dissolves other people's issues, so you don't have to have them bothering you. And a part of us won't feel safe to come out while other people haven't dissolved their issues, because there's a fearful part. But when you know people's issues are being dissolved, that part of you is going to flourish. So it's very practical, very simple. You will laugh a lot of aha moments, but there's so much happening in that time as well. And a lot of interaction.
Right, and you do one with karma release, and also a curse and removal, romantic love. I mean, there's a lot covered, an awful lot.
Yeah, there's separate packages: the living and loving your dreams and the dynamic empowerment. They're different energies, but I would say either one, but the class and the session is really powerful. But you have the choice of the package in the class, or the package, class and session. And the package class says 30 minutes, or the session says 30 minutes. It's usually more like 45, 50. And a lot's done in that time. But if you don't choose the sessions, the classes can be replayed as sessions. I do over deliver, but I think life is undelivered in so many ways for so long that my mission is to enjoy what I do, and I do that by knowing that people are given as much as I can give them, so they can take it and run with it. That's
Right.
really...
They really should. This is a package that you do not buy and sit to the side. You use it immediately. And with the classes, you really will have to. I mean, you can always listen to the recordings because you can download them, but you really don't want to do that. This is not something to buy and set aside. This is something to use for yourself, so you can help others that are in your life. You know, once you start helping yourself, you can help so many others. You can pass it forward. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can, like the ones I give you, you can loop in the background. Well, my previous packages, everyone was looping them in the background. They were using them 24/7. The classes, you can record, that you can attend live, that you can download the recording. They're playing them, amazing results. But the classes are for you. Everything's for you. It's just, I've done 27 years of finding the best techniques that work, and I wasn't happy until I can actually teach you them so simply that you really don't need to learn them. They're just so easy that they're just like a bit of imagination. So there's no stress. We're over having too much information. We're over making it hard. We're over stressing. We're over being wrong, being bad. We're so over those things. I was over them myself. So this isn't about this. This is about being enlightened, going from an average human to operating like a master immediately. You don't have to wait. That waiting time is, you don't have to go sit in a mountain for ages. Neither do you have to listen to anything for ages. But it's going out into the world and having skills and resources on tap, as normal as breathing or cleaning your teeth or eating. It has to be normal.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it.
It's got to be fun too, and it's got to be shared, so you can have that resource of feeling supported and not alone. And there's always the opportunity. If anyone's stuck, I just say shoot me an email and I'll get back to you, and I do.
You do. You really do. She really
I don't want
does. She really
anyone
does.
alone. We've had enough of feeling we're left alone, and we haven't got anyone just give me a hint of what's going on. You
Hmm.
know, it's just been so challenging for so long, and we've had people take the money and run, and then we're left feeling completely used again. I'm so over those things happening. So I suppose I was thinking of me when I created these classes, of what I'd been through
Hmm.
and how it hadn't really helped me, or helped me for one shift and then what was left.
Right.
So yeah, it was just had enough of not enough.
Yeah, but and that's another reason why, I'm doing this web TV. So for me, it's another step that I've stepped out because my spirit guides kept telling me I had to get out there more, even though I was global talking to people, I wasn't seen. So I was still pretty safe. But now I feel like I have totally stepped out there. Uh, this is me. I'm here. And my guests that come on to be with me, they are here. They're stepping out in front of you and sharing with you from their heart. They're giving to you.
And
And
it's so
trust me,
important.
in a big way, they're giving. Yeah, Gaylene.
There's nothing to be afraid of, because what you're doing, so many people have felt stuck, and and they have tried so hard. It's not from lack of trying, but the
Hmm.
information was inadequate. So there's so many people that just need that hand, that you can do it, that technique that makes them think, oh my God, why didn't someone tell me it was that easy? Or why didn't
Right.
someone tell me that's how it was? It's so hard for people at this point, because all the information has only made it harder, and we're over it being harder. We don't want that again. So there's no fear for what you do, though. I do honor what you do. I love what you do. It's so important, because everyone deserves that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you covered an awful lot tonight. So I think we've really, really shared a lot, and they should take it in, take some time to really absorb it all. Go to my website again, lordiel.com, www.lord as in David, iel.com, and click on services, and then click on Gaylene's banner to look over the offers and which one is best for you. If you just want the first offer with just the MP3s, or you want the second with the MP3s and the three classes, right, Gaylene? Three classes?
Yeah, that
Or the,
I would
yeah,
recommend the three classes.
or the
I mean, the
third
MP3s
offer.
are great, but
But,
to join in with something and have that feeling of three classes as individual classes, because I make them like classes, like
mhm,
sessions. You can reuse and reuse and reuse them, and just keep putting different
yeah.
stuff in.
Or you can get the third offer and also have a session with her. So you'd get everything that the first and second one has, plus a private session with her. I personally, I'd go for the third offer. But, like I said, they're all very, very reasonable. So if you can't do the first one, and come back to her at a later time, really come back to her again. The classes you'll appreciate too. I've taken some of her classes. They're outstanding. I mean, she covers things that don't even come into your mind until she says it. And it's like, oh my God, yes, I want that too. How did you know? And she's covering it. And then while she's, working, and you're just there, in oblivion and with your eyes closed, next thing you know, all the stuff is just coming up, coming up, coming up. And it's just being released. You're just releasing it, letting it go. And you find that peace within yourself that you've been looking for. You'll find it.
I think what works too is all of a sudden things like anger and hate and fury that people haven't been allowed. All of I'm saying
So,
it's normal, you're going to have it, but it's not effective. So just bring it up. So for once in our life, we're being told that's what bring up. Don't pretend you're happy, because I don't want that. I want all the hard stuff. The hardest
mhm,
stuff you ever have. I take phone calls. Anyone stuck, so we shift it, and everyone includes their own stuff, so everyone gets in on that shift as well. So as we go from that, whoever has their hand up, and I must take at least, I suppose, 8 to 10 people to calls, and everyone puts their stuff in that, and that just aids more shifts. So you actually get to see how quickly you can shift anyone stuck in anything, Well, actually, if some people in the week get stuck, they'll just shoot me an email and say, what do I do or what is it? And I just shoot an email back. So no one's left. But the classes are really enlightening, fun, and really powerful and good. Like, I've kept it. I know everyone's has the illusion of financial issues, and that illusion is pretty real when you're in it. So I've kept those prices purposely affordable to give as much as I can for as little. Yeah, just so the quality's there, but everyone deserves it.
It is. And I am so grateful that you're doing this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for asking, but you're so welcome. And thank you for inviting me. It's very kind of you, very generous of you. And I know it was because you cared so much about all your listeners that you
I
just
do.
wanted to do something. And I know you made an assessment of everything I did and didn't do before you even considered asking me. But it was really because you cared about your listeners and wanted to do what the best you could for them. And I know that.
Great. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And I'm going to say thank you for everybody that's listening now and that listen later. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to come to a close. We're not going to say goodbye because we will be back. And Gaylene will be back also. So I'm going to wish you a very beautiful, magical night, day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and fill it with love and light and joy and happiness and peace. Great. Didn't that feel good? Just embrace it, feel it, be it. Just take this moment and say, this moment is for me. Mm, good. Thank you. Gaylene, would you like to say any closing words?
I would, instead of saying closing words, I'm just going to, if that's okay, just do a quick
Okay.
energy. And that can be my close. That's better than words.
Awesome.
Everybody, wishing you love, wishing you kindness and gentleness. Thank you.
Until next time.
Namaste.
Namaste.